Invisible Sun is a tabletop role-playing game developed by Monty Cook Games. In this system, players portray spellcasters called Visley in a surreal, fantastic setting as they adjust to their new lives in the aftermath of a terrible conflict known only as the War. Players in Invisible Sun control the narrative by pursuing their own individual character arcs to achieve story goals and advance their characters in power and skill. The GM reacts to how the players interact with the world and influences each character's story via the Sooth deck, a set of cards that represent shifts in both the in-game currents of magic and the narratives crafted by the players. There are 9 suns in Invisible Sun, and each sun represents a facet of reality. Together with the dark, these suns form the known universe, the actuality. 8 of these suns are organized in an ordered path, and the 9th, Invisible Sun, shines light throughout the actuality. We would know the light from the Invisible Sun as magic. After seeking refuge from the war in the shadow of the Grey Sun, a land of falsehoods and illusions, which we as players, GMs, and viewers would call our world, our main characters return home to the world under the indigo sun of truth, in the post-war magical metropolis of Satyrine. The city, much like the player characters, is in the process of rebuilding after the war. 17 districts of Satyrine remain, separated by large swaths of desolate cityscape called Ruined Expanses. Within the city, our story takes place in the pocket dimension of Fartown, Satyrine's Visley district, the most magical part of a deeply magical city. Under the light of the Sun of Truth, our players will relearn what it means to be Visley. They will recover pieces of themselves lost to an apathetic world. They will reclaim their lives. Welcome to the actuality. Welcome to Reclamations.
And welcome. I don't think I was muted for everybody else, but it's fine. Welcome to the stream. Alex, you are live.
All right. Well, hey, hi, howdy, everybody. Tonight we are playing a brand new game for Open for Adventure. This is Invisible Sun. If you caught the intro, you would know this is a game by Monty Cook Games, and I'm really excited to be bringing it to Open for Adventure with these fine, lovely, and wonderful players. One of the first things that you should know is that each of these characters will be described as an adjective, noun, who, verbs. This is a personal, intrinsic character quality, a membership to a magical guild in the city, and then a specialty of magic that each character has picked up, which makes them unique from almost anybody else in the setting, and certainly anybody else in the game. So why don't we first go around and introduce our characters, say as much or as little as we would like. I'm going to be going based on what I see on the Twitch overlay. So Lucas, why don't you give us your character sentence and tell us anything that we should know about you before we get going.
Okay. Well, my name is Lucas Renchester. I'm a stalwart apostate who travels as a spirit. For those of you who need to know, I spend a considerable amount of my time meditating, pondering mysteries of the energies between life and death, and ways to tap into that. And honestly, I don't feel like saying much else.
All right, how about you, Soren?
Yeah, my name is Soren. I am a stalwart, gallant Vance who understands the words. So I am, of course, very interested in words and their meanings, and particularly in the true names of things, as that is something that holds great power in this setting.
All right, and Soraya?
I forgot what I am. I'm Soraya, a stoic goetic who listens to the whisper. I'm already on a roll.
You're doing great, sweetie.
Please don't talk. This is my time. You don't have to be the center of attention all the time.
Okay.
That's it. That's all you need to know about me. I'm done.
I love that so much.
That's it, really. That's it.
I don't know what else would be important to share. I'm never going to speak to these people again.
Fine.
Jade, you want to go ahead?
I do. I'm Shade. I am an ardent weaver who fuses nightmares into fists. And this is my party. It usually is anyway.
It always is.
And
Always it.
Alana?
Gross.
I'm Alana Albion. I'm an ardent weaver who splinters into fragments. That's really it. Shade invited me here to her party. I couldn't say no. It would be rude. I recently got back to Saturnine, so I'm still figuring things out.
That's what I'm here for.
Thanks, Shade.
And with that, I think we can get going. So we begin our story tonight where all good stories begin. The City of Notions and the City of Truth. The heart of the lands illuminated by the indigo sun and the center of the real world. Saturnine. Saturnine exists in the world as it is illuminated by the indigo sun, the fourth of 8 suns that make up the path of suns, the known universe, the actuality. But of course, there are really 9 suns, but we're not going to talk about that right now, because that's a secret. Saturnine used to be the largest city in existence, but that was before the war. After the war, the City of the Dead became the largest city in existence. And that's all you really need to know about the war. The war is over, and we won. But enough about that, because we are here to follow the story of 5 spellcasters, 5 Visley, as they reclaim their lives from the carnage of the war. Our 5 Visley, like many others, took refuge in the land of lies and distortions, the fake, false lands illuminated by the gray sun, the 5th sun on the path. And you know this world well, because you live here, all of you, as players, game masters, and viewers. But our Visley are now back under the indigo sun, back in Saturnine and back home. In a part of town called the Mothlight Quarter, a small neighborhood tucked away in the extra-dimensional pocket district called Fartown. And tonight, like many nights, there is a party going on in the Mothlight Quarter. Guests from all parts of town slowly make their way to a prominent house that the locals call the Mothlight Dungeon. The dungeon is owned by a dragon who lounges about the property and collects and hoards stray thoughts, mostly from partygoers. Though he is present physically, he is more of an absentee landlord. The primary residents of the house, though, might be able to tell us a little more about the Mothlight Dungeon. So, Shade, Soraya, what's your house like?
Why don't you share your favorite part, Soraya?
My favorite part is the part in the very back where strange people that you don't even know, but somehow get invited to parties, can't find me. That's my favorite part. That's really the only part I care about.
Imagine a dungeon, or like a castle, complete with a dragon and everything. Massive ballrooms, dungeons. Those are my favorite parts. It just really has everything that you need for your anything that you need for anything that you need. I like the kitchens too.
All right. Well, like I said, we were beginning the session with a party, but I also think we should begin with a pull from the Sooth deck. This influences both the currents of magic in the game and also influences the narrative of this session and the narrative of each player's character arc, depending on how the pull goes. So let's see what we get. On the Silver Sun, we play the Harvesting Spider. So let's quickly pop open what that means and take a look. The Harvesting Spider, value of 2. Mysteries, rats, mirrors, and stone. So any Stoics, you will have a +1 to all of your ventures. Spiders carry many things. They're builders, weavers, caretakers, but they are also hunters, killers, and blood drinkers. The Harvesting Spider cares for her young, but at the expense of what she harvests, and that just might be you. She is stealthy and sneaky. Her many footsteps are silent. Regardless, spiders never stop working. They build and create to serve specific purposes.
So that was
That
a plus.
is our first pull for tonight.
That was a +1 to what?
To all of your ventures, anytime you attempt to perform a skill, the difficulty will be 1 level lower.
Oh heck yeah! Okay.
So Alana and Shade and Soraya, you're all here. Soren, Lucas, how do you get here?
Well, I imagine that perhaps we would have walked over together if we knew that we were coming to the same party. It is not too hard to think that we would go together.
And were you invited, or did you just hear about it and come along?
I don't think I have a choice if I'm invited or not. I think I am expected to show up.
You mean Shade told you about it, and you have to attend, and I accompany you. It's only natural.
That is the implication, yes.
Right. Well, that works perfectly fine for me. Just, I follow in behind you as we head in for this boisterous affair.
All right. And a boisterous affair it is. You come in, and there are already a decent amount of guests, probably at least 20, 25. Most of them are familiar faces, but nothing more than that. A lot of people show up to repeat parties here, and Shade knows most of them. Some of the faces you would note is an older gentleman. Let me actually quickly pull up my picture so I can throw it in the Discord real fast. All right, so you notice this older gentleman, bald, got a really big full beard. He's wearing a sort of light tan suit, a very sky blue hat, and a matching scarf. Alana and Shade, you would know this person as Pontiff. He is the most powerful leader, or most powerful weaver in your circle, though he would not necessarily refer to himself as a teacher or an instructor. You see him talking to a young woman dressed in almost all white with a sort of dark green tie, very pale eyes, light blonde hair, and Shade, this is one of your business partners. You know this person as the ambassador.
Can you? Sorry, I was looking up Pontiff. Can you describe the ambassador for me again, really quickly?
Sure. The ambassador currently appears as a young woman with fair, pale skin, all white coat, shirt, dark green tie, sort of like short-ish blonde hair, and she's chatting idly with Pontiff.
Oh, they're together.
Yeah, they're just talking.
Okay. I'm standing by Soraya for the moment. Soraya and Alana.
Okay, sure.
Don't you have guests to go greet?
They're having fun. They don't need me. Besides, I think Lucas is gonna be here tonight.
Did you invite Lucas?
I invite all of our friends. I invited Soren.
Shade, I have never seen half of these people. Or I'm pretending I've never seen half of these people. Let's play my favorite game. I'm going to point to a random person across the room. What's their name?
That's Angelica.
Is it
You see
really
how
Angelica?
she
or you
looks
just
like a
mentioned-
doll? That's how I remember.
Oh,
You see her hair
I'm
is
impressed.
Soraya, seriously. You think I would miss an opportunity to scout out and to look for business associates? Besides, it's not the point. The point is that Lucas is going to be here tonight.
Yes, you mentioned that. So you invited Soren
I
and
invite
Lucas.
Soren to all of my
And
parties.
do you? Or does he just
Okay,
show up?
not all of the parties anymore. Not all of the parties, but I invited him. The point is, I invited him to this one. Alana, you know Lucas and Soren?
Just a little bit. I don't know if we've been formally introduced, but I could point them out.
Well, then I will be happy to formally introduce you. Soren's lovely. You'll probably get along with him pretty well.
I'll take your word for it.
And he's very nice. Well, mostly nice. And I'm pretty sure he's available. And I walk away.
Alana just flushes and takes a quick sip of whatever the hell it is that Shade poured for her earlier.
It's straight whiskey.
It's fine. Just, you gotta... It's always whiskey, Alana.
Maybe I should bring my own drinks from now on.
I think, or at least pour your own drinks, maybe? I don't know about you, but this is feeling a bit crowded. I don't know if there's anybody around us, but this is feeling a bit crowded. If you would like to join me.
I don't say anything, but I do give you a pleading look, as in please.
All right, let's go. And I'll lead her away to like a little tucked away corner where some, like a couch or something is, or a couple of couches, or just a sitting area.
And if we pass by Pontiff, I won't interject in the middle of his conversation, but I will wave slightly.
Okay. You don't particularly pass by him, but all the same, as you're heading over to your seat, he kind of pops over and waves at you, just as you think you might want to address him. It is about this time, probably about 8:30, 9 o'clock, when Soren and Lucas, you make it to the Mothlight Dungeon, and you come in and you see the party is already kind of in full swing, or at least rapidly approaching. Lucas, I imagine you would at least vaguely know where Soraya would like to sort of stake her claim in these parties, as far as pieces of the room that she likes to occupy. So you probably notice her straight away. And Soren, one person you at least do recognize among the party goers is a young woman named Euphemia. She is a third-degree Vance. She's something of a rising star. She is very well liked. She is a member of the Parasad, which are basically magical rescue workers. She has a reputation for being extremely smart, extremely talented, and generally overall a pretty decent person. And you notice that she's among the party goers. She's wearing a brown suit with a sort of like light blue iridescent bow tie that sort of like shifts and swirls with a matching pocket square. She's got her glasses sort of like tucked away, long straight brown hair, and yeah, she's just kind of making idle chatter, you notice, with a bunch of random party goers. So that's a person you would recognize in the crowd.
Perfect. Perhaps I will swing by the bar to fill up a cup, and then I could go and perhaps say hello.
Sure. Shade, what's the bar serving tonight?
The bar is serving pretty much anything you want, but the specialty tonight is a liqueur made from the venom of snakes with 3 heads.
Okay, nice.
Yeah, we will stick to whiskey.
Speak for yourself. I'll probably stick with something a little less abrasive.
Can I approach Soren and Lucas?
Absolutely.
Hi, strangers.
Shade, good to see you. How are you doing?
Very well. It's good to see you both.
It's a new record. Less than a minute, and she's already come to greet us.
I greet everyone. What is it people think I don't know everybody at my party? This is my house. Well, Soraya lives here, but this is my house. And everybody knows I'm the nicer twin.
Yeah, I would assume you have to know everyone because Soraya wouldn't invite anyone.
Exactly. And how do you think this dungeon gets so... this castle gets so full? That happens later.
That is a great question.
Well, I hope you two join the, frivolities? Adventures? Whatever. Of, the house drink tonight. It's called Screaming into the Void.
That is very tempting. Perhaps once I have warmed up to it.
Very well. Whiskey for now, I'm assuming.
As per usual.
My good whiskey, I'm assuming.
I did not bring my own bottle today, so...
Well, I'll take some and then... Well, you know where to find me if you need anything. And I'll walk away.
Boisterous as ever.
That is no surprise. I'm amazed that we got in under a minute, but it's always under 2.
Speaking of which, if you'll excuse me, I will leave you to your frivolities, and I will join the usual company in the back.
All right. I will swing by later just to say my polite greetings.
You know as well as I do that those don't get you anywhere.
That is very true. Still, we must uphold the traditions.
Suppose some of us must. I'll talk to you later.
All right. Have fun.
And you.
Perhaps I could make my way over to Euphemia.
Sure. You make your way over. You see she's probably halfway through. Well, it's at least drink number 1. She notices you. Soren, I wasn't expecting to see you here.
Oh, well, I like to swing by, at the very least, make a quick visit, even if I don't stay very long. It is,
Of course.
I feel like good to get out of the library every now and then.
We all have to.
Indeed. What are you having this evening?
I'm trying this Screaming into the Void drink. It's rather bracing.
Yes, and would you say that you like it?
I'm not sure yet. I think I'll try it again. And then
Okay.
make my determination.
That is fair. Proper research must be done before you can draw any thorough conclusions.
If it's worth doing once, it's probably worth doing twice.
That is true of many things. I did want to just swing by and let you know I am working on a new idea, and I would like to swing by sometime, perhaps when we are both over at the Vance. We might have a conversation. I would love to show you what I'm working on.
Sure, of course. I don't think you've ever... She sort of pats her coat for a second and pulls out a business card which indicates her office location on the campus, the Vancian campus. Here, that's my office. You can swing by whenever you'd like, honestly. I have no idea why they gave me an office in the first place. I don't teach, but...
Neither do I, but sometimes even researchers get a good office.
True enough, true enough. How have you been adjusting? I know that you got back relatively recently.
Fairly good. I have picked up a night shift or two at a local bar just to kind of help with the socializing as I adjust. But
Sure.
so far it is good.
I imagine that's a lot easier of an adjustment job than going straight back to work for the Order or something.
It is. Although I do hope to get back with the Order soon. It would be, I think, good for me.
Well, we'd certainly love to have you. I suppose I I can't speak for the people who are in charge of hiring and all of that, but I've heard good things about you. I have faith that you would certainly be able to get a job at least.
Well, thank you very much. I will swing by, perhaps in the next couple of days.
Of course. I look forward to it.
Perfect. Thank you, and enjoy the rest of your evening.
You too. As you're walking away, you notice a newspaper that is sitting by some of Euphemia's things. The cover story is, you only catch it briefly, mentions a murder where the victim in particular was found with something of like a hole, like bored into their skull almost.
Well, that is quite disturbing. I will probably try not to make a big deal out of it and take a good sip of my stiff drink and try to forget it even happened.
Sure.
Where did Shade see this? Or where did Soren see this? Too many S names.
Soren saw this next to Euphemia's things. So like just among her, like with her coat or her bag or something like that. By the bar.
If it's okay with you, Game Master, I'd like to kind of look around and see if anybody's causing trouble or having too much fun without me.
Or wants to get into some trouble.
I don't know if this would count as trouble, but you notice a couple of deadbeats sitting off in the corner being all somber and looking like they're not having fun.
I would like to point out that I would like to summon a demon so that people are less inclined to.
Okay, sure. We'll get to that one in just a second.
Okay, great.
But, so, you notice, of course, some people are engaging in their usual party activities, which is not partying, but it happens. Mostly people, at least it's early enough in the night where nobody seems to be getting too wild. It mostly just seems to be a bunch of people milling around, drinking and talking. The only thing you notice in particular at this moment is that a young man who you haven't met before comes in through the door. He leaves his like tweed suit jacket by the front door, so he comes in just like this white shirt, wearing at this point a very loose black tie, and he sort of heads off straight to the bar and begins talking.
2 questions. I look at my sister to see if she recognizes him.
Do I recognize him?
I don't think so.
Okay.
Second question, is he hot?
Oh god.
I don't know. I think he's cute. He's cute, but I don't know if hot is the way I would describe him.
I can work with that.
Yeah, he's young. He's got
Young?
curly brown hair. Yeah, I mean like young as in like you're all young. So yeah, young curly brown hair, very vibrant green eyes, and probably like 5'9" or so. He's slender, but not like scrawny or anything like that. He seems, I would say he's pretty attractive, but that's just me.
I will walk towards him and then okay, I want to do a magic thing.
Okay.
I want to make all of the lights in the dungeon flare as I approach.
Okay, sure. So that would just be weaving, and I think that that would probably just be like why don't you go ahead and let's actually.
Do you want me to roll something?
No,
Okay.
we're just gonna look at how you will. Why don't you spend visual illusion, the sign of the hand, how logic? Yeah, let's go with that. So that would be 1 sorcery just for the effect. And what is your range on that? Near. Okay, yeah, I'll say that's broadly close enough. So yeah, you're able to do it with just spending 1 sorcery. So if you want to mark off that 1 sorcery. And as you're approaching, we're going to hop over to Soraya, who is going to attempt a summoning. Do you want to do this out in public, or?
Is it bad if I do it out in public? I would know
It's-
probably at this point. Is it like frowned upon? Is it? I mean, I'm not. A part of me wants everyone to know because that's part of
Sure.
the impression that
Yeah.
I'm trying to give of please don't fucking talk to me.
Yeah, it's bad to specifically do the summoning in public because when you have something summoned but not yet committed to a cause,
That's
if you
fair.
can't convince it, it is a dangerous creature.
That is very
Dangerous
troublesome.
being, rather.
Can I go find a small room?
Sure.
I will deposit Alana and I will scurry
Oh.
away. I'll be right back.
Oh, okay.
I'll be right back. And
Okay, sure.
so I'm gonna do. There's a circle thing I can do.
Yes.
The circle.
Drawing out your protective circle.
That
Yeah,
thing. I
that'll
want to
take
do
10
that
minutes.
just in case this doesn't go well.
Sure. Yeah, no, that's fair. You can definitely do that.
Okay. And then
and
I
why
just.
don't you describe? Okay.
Yes. Go ahead.
Why don't you describe what you want to summon and whether you want it to be level 1, 2, or 3?
Oh, I don't know. I think I can. Okay. I would. Oh, that's a different thing. Oh, I just want to summon a guard who is going to be very tall.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of. I mean, he's not particularly nice to look at. That's kind of the point. I want people to be uncomfortable when they see.
Okay, sure. All right.
I forget you can choose the level. Let's just do level 1 because I don't really
Sure,
need them to
okay.
do anything. I just need them to
Just be there. Sure.
be and
Yeah.
yes, as my
All right.
sign. Please
Let
don't.
me
No
quickly pull
trespassing.
up the.
Do not enter.
So why don't you go ahead and mark off 1 sorcery
Okay.
to. And so, do you have anything particular in mind for what you would like this creature to look like?
I just want it. I almost want it to be. No. No, sister, I hear you. I want it to be tall. I almost want it to be like in my head. It's this kind of cloaked. It almost looks cloaked because it's dripping like black ooze.
Sure.
And it's just
Yeah.
it's kind of like a trapezoid, but like the taller part, real wide shoulders. You know, maybe skipped a leg day. Real like all kinds of like things happening with the mouth.
Yeah.
Probably some.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so you summon this creature, and it is like a rift is torn in reality itself. It's just gaping void of at first nothing, just sort of is torn out into the universe. And it shifts, and you see a variety of different colors. But as you sort of settle on summoning this demon, all of the colors sort of like congeal and coalesce into this very vibrant and intense red, and it just bathes the entire room in this very eerie red glow. And out from this tear in reality, this creature steps forward and catches the tear on itself like a cloak and drags it along with it. And so now it is just carrying around this damp, dripping cloak of a portal almost. It is tall, probably 7 or 8 feet tall and rail thin. Its face is wrapped in these sort of like what look like very old like linen bandages or something. You see one like large eye that is very disproportionately large to the face just peering out from underneath these bandages. This eye does not have an eyelid. And you also notice that its mouth is like a perfect circle, and there are just these very jagged, crooked, messed up teeth ringing around the entire circumference of this creature's mouth. It's like a lamprey with a bad dentist. And so this thing steps out. It has long, thin fingers, almost like claws or knives, and it is like dragging them along its face. Summoner.
Hi, handsome. I just need you to do me a favor. I just need you to stand and just make sure nobody. I just really need you to stand.
Oh, I'm standing right now.
Oh, that's delightful. I just need you to stand over here. Can you stand over here for me?
Why don't you go ahead and roll your first persuasion roll?
Oh,
Well,
God.
actually, first, let's back up a quick second. Do you want to bribe it, intimidate it, persuade it, or trick it?
I mean, I guess the way I just RP'd that, it's more persuasion. So
Mhm.
I guess, I already, I have so many things.
Well, do you have any skill in persuasion?
I have a skill in intimidation.
Okay.
I just didn't RP that well because that's fine. I know how to do this.
Yeah.
Uh,
So why don't we go ahead and roll that first dice? I'm saying because you haven't offered it anything or provided it any motivation, you've just asked it to do something. The
Mhm.
challenge will be one level higher than the creature.
Mhm.
So you need to roll greater than a 1. So you need to roll a 2 or above on your d20. You can add any.
Oh, a
Bene
D20?
when you're in. D20, D10.
oh, I was like,
Yeah. No, I'm sorry.
Okay.
No, that's me.
So I just
Okay.
roll a D10.
You can reduce the challenge by 1 if you want to spend a bene, but beyond that, it's,
Oh no, it's okay. I rolled a 3, which is more than
Okay.
a 1.
It is more than a 1. So you pass the first of 3 persuasion checks that are necessary.
God. Okay.
Because persuasion is the most difficult one because you don't need to do anything for it. You just need to
That's.
talk.
I just need you to. Yeah. That's fair.
So the demon is still like kind of clawing at itself, and it's kind of like you notice that some of its thinness is because it just is wrapped into itself, and it begins to shift subtly towards the place where you have pointed at it to go to. Why though?
Because I don't particularly like people, and they tend to try to talk to you.
But why for me?
Well, you, as magnificent as you are quite terrifying to behold. So most people will think twice before approaching. No
What
offense.
do I get?
Oh,
What do I get?
you get my delightful company for the evening.
Okay,
And
go
it-
ahead and roll your second persuasion check.
That's a 1.
Okay.
I know how it's fine. This is great. I know
All
how.
right.
Mhm.
So that is not successful.
Nope.
So here's how we're going to do this.
Okay.
Um,
I already broke the game. I'm sorry, y'all.
the devil is going to reach out and grab your hand.
Do not touch me. That wasn't what I told you to do.
I didn't get anything out of it, so I'll tell you what. Just give me a little something to convince me, and I'll send anywhere you'd like.
How about this? How about you do what I say, and I don't tear you into a million pieces? How does that sound?
Not good enough. And it is going to try to attack you, actually.
Okay.
You're going to have to. I did not imagine we would be doing this so fast. So, okay.
Good.
So, for all of the rest of you, you notice that Soraya has been gone for probably like 10 minutes. And then, for a second, all you hear is this ear-splitting shriek and what sounds like some sort of a confrontation going on in a room nearby.
I was about to ask, does this sound like my definition of trouble?
Oh yes, this is anybody's definition of trouble. If this is not somebody's definition of trouble, that person is very concerning.
No, this is a party.
So that happens for all of you. Soraya, you're going to need to roll a dodge defense roll. So if you have any skill in dodge, you can also attempt to reduce the difficulty of this challenge by spending a point from your movement pool.
Oh. Okay, I'm gonna do that. I don't know what any of this means. So I'm just rolling a d10, and
rolling a d10. You have reduced the challenge by 1.
Okay. I rolled a 2.
Okay, well, fortunately, that's what you needed.
Thank
I was
God.
going to say that the challenge is 3. So yeah, you this thing reaches out, and like now that you know, like now that you're like up close and it has grabbed you, like you would not want to get stuck with these fingers or. They're not really like fingers. They don't bend at any point. There's no knuckle or anything like that. They're just these like long stubs almost. They're not even sharp enough to be called knives. There's just these thin, blunt instruments. And it attempts to just jab you in the gut with these finger-like projections, but you're able to move out of the way. And actually,
I don't know how any of this works.
Okay, yeah. So what happens is it makes this attack, and there's actually, without any energy tying it to this sun of existence, after striking at you, it sort of just starts like laughing and scratching at its face, and it slowly becomes enveloped in this shroud of portal that it wore when it popped in. Try again next time. And it just...
Ew.
And with that, we're going to pull another Sooth card real fast. Yeah, y'all can just talk while I get this going.
That was...
Could I have busted in as it left?
Oh yeah, sure. Absolutely.
Soraya!
This is your fault.
What? You don't get to blame this on me.
You keep inviting people to our house. How am I supposed to keep them from talking to me?
Look like a fucking bitch like you normally do. Jesus Christ.
That doesn't always work. Unfortunately, I've tried.
Then tell them you don't. Then leave. Don't summon a demon and blame it on me. Are you hurt?
No. It just didn't agree with my terms, which I thought were very generous terms, but...
At some point, like right after Soraya left, Alana was fidgeting a lot, nervously looking around. And if anyone saw her, like hairline fractures, like cracked glass, were like moving up her neck and onto her face. But after Shade goes running by, Alana will quietly but quickly trail after and probably walk into this mess of sisterhood screaming.
All right.
Soraya, are you okay?
I'm fine. I mean, not a particularly good use of time, but I'm fine.
I heard a crash and something.
Sometimes when you summon demons, they don't necessarily...
Oh,
that's fine.
Okay, that's what you were doing.
Usually they're much more amiable. Usually.
I'm right behind you, Alana.
Oh.
I followed behind you.
I jump once I notice you are there. Hello?
Oh, excuse me. Sorry, are you getting yourself into trouble?
I was trying to keep myself out of trouble.
Yes, she was getting herself into trouble.
We have very different definitions of trouble in this house.
I feel like that's accurate.
I would waltz in about now.
Of course you're here. Of course you are. Of course.
I heard a noise.
You invited him.
I meant in... There are swirling dark circles around my fists.
Put those away.
I think, yeah.
You're not the boss of me.
I don't think there's a use at the moment. A use? Unless you want to punch Soraya.
Go ahead.
Not offended. I'm just... Whatever. Fine. I feel like you're cute.
On the green sun, we have played the Fleeting Moment. Lost my tab. Fleeting Moment, value of 1. Mysteries, rats, mirrors, and stones. So, Mindy, you still keep that +1 you had.
I should have had a +1. Should I have had a plus
yeah.
1?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well,
It's all right.
Live
yeah.
and
Sorry,
learn.
y'all.
It's fine. You didn't get hurt. It's fine.
I even wrote it down.
The meanings for this card are lost time, elusiveness, agility, and reaction. Time moves inexorably forward. Sometimes it moves so quickly that we lose track of it. We try to watch, we try to pay attention, and yet it's gone. Mercurially, it slips through our fingers. Time can move so rapidly. In fact, we can lose time. Look at the clock. It's 6:22. Take a look again, seemingly a moment later, and suddenly it's 8:05. They say there was once an hour that came after midnight, but eventually it moved so quickly that it disappeared altogether. If that's true, perhaps that's the fate of all time. At midnight hour next will flit away. Time is elusive and impossible to hold, no matter how you try. It is a force even the gods fear. The fleeting moment played on the green sun. No, magic of the indigo is enhanced and magic of the gray is hindered. So if you want to cast a spell that is associated with the indigo sun, your venture will be at +1, or it will be 1 sorcery cheaper to cast. The inverse for any magic related to the gray sun.
What do we feel like has anything changed for us for what we felt?
I would say that you would broadly notice, since you're Vizsla, you definitely notice something. It's like a shift in the wind almost. It's this imperceptible gut feeling that you get that something has changed. It's nothing that said, it's nothing out of the ordinary. These effects manifest themselves in different ways each time, more or less.
Soren, who are you talking to? She seems nice.
I thought you said you know everyone at your parties.
That was a trick.
That's a lie. She doesn't
Actually,
know
there
everyone.
is someone here that I don't know, and I was in the middle of talking to him when I was rudely interrupted by you trying to actually invite someone to the party for once, except for that it was probably a demon.
I always invite a demon. It's my typical guest for the evening. I don't know why you're so upset.
I just wish
I
you
don't
preferred
understand.
the company of people of Vizsla rather than demons.
Well, I wish people weren't so stupid, and yet here we are.
As this back and forth is going on, I'm slowly backing up and standing next to Lucas as I watch what's going on between.
Oh,
siblings.
speaking of which, Soren, Alana, Soren, you've been officially introduced.
So we have. It is good to meet
Hi.
you, although I probably shouldn't be surprised that here we are brought together by the summoning of a demon. That seems pretty typical here in this house.
Alana and I are in the same Weaver cell.
Oh, very good.
Soren is her ex.
Oh my god, he's a friend now. Jeez. Why do you have to make it weird all of the time?
I mean, why is it weird? It's true.
Statements of fact can't be embarrassing
It's not
unless you let them be.
embarrassing. Jesus Christ.
It's nice to meet you.
It's very good to meet you as well.
Okay, now that this shenanigan is over, I'm gonna go meet this person.
All right. I hope you enjoy the rest of your party, Shade.
I will. And I twirl and I walk away.
You walk away right out the open door that you all barged in, and no one made an effort to close. So you notice that there are a fair few partygoers who are looking, and there are some who are obviously paying attention but trying not to look and be rude. So some of that was definitely caught by at least some quantity of guests.
Great.
That's fair.
This is why I don't like having people over.
You probably would have been better served staying in your corner.
Well, I was planning on going back to my corner. I just wanted some extra insurance that we wouldn't be bothered.
It's called getting a room and locking it.
Do you really want to not be bothered that much, Soraya?
I mean, yes.
The room with the lock does sound promising.
If you didn't want to go to your room, I can try and help with some magic.
I'm listening.
I think I could
having...
try and hide you. If you don't want me to do it, I completely understand.
No, this sounds like probably the best idea I've heard all day. And I went through all of my thoughts earlier. And I think this still might be the best one.
If you don't want me to do it, I completely understand. I don't want to cast magic on you if...
I trust you.
Okay. Alex, I would like to weave together the qualities of shelter and secrets to hide Soraya away, at least temporarily for a little bit, so she's not bothered.
Okay, sure. Do you want to put her in a particular place, or do you want to create an illusion around her?
More so an illusion, just like if she's sitting down at a chair, it looks like someone else is sitting at the chair, or the chair doesn't look like it's there.
Okay, sure. I will say that, so that will be, the level of effect would be 3 to alter the appearance of a creature or object. What is your default amount of time that you can weave something for?
Time? My default time is short. I have short in one round, but the higher of the two is short.
Yeah, sure. So short is in the realm of, if off the top of my head I remember, in the realm of like minutes or something. So if you want to run it for maybe like an hour or so, I will say it will be a level 4 weave.
Okay. I think I can have it last about an hour. Is that okay?
Sounds like an hour of time I won't have to waste trying to avoid people.
Okay. And do I need to roll anything or just spend the bene?
Nope. You will just spend 4 from your sorcery pool. And why don't you describe A, what it looks like when you weave magic, and B, what it looks like, what this effect looks like for Soraya.
So the way Alana weaves magic is very much like as if she was braiding hair or like doing some crafting. She's actually physically grabbing into the air, and no one else can probably see it except for maybe another weaver. So either Pontiff or Shade, someone who actually knows what the magic is like and how weavers work. So she's actually physically grabbing the qualities of the tower and heart and slowly weaving an illusion of no chair, like right where Soraya would be sitting, and covering her as well.
Mm-hmm. Sure. So you do this, and to most people around you, Soraya is gone.
Do I know
at this point, no, you're definitely aware that you're still there, and honestly, probably Alana, you can definitely see Soraya, and anybody who like looked at that area intently would like definitely see you, but it's sort of like a.
Your eyes are sliding over it.
Yeah, it's like a like almost like a black hole of perception. Like you can look at it, but like you're not gonna see anything. Kind of like that. It's as you do this though, Alana, that the leader of your Weaver Circle, Pontiff, comes over and sort of like gently leads in. Well done. I didn't know
Pontiff.
Your friend was there. I wouldn't be able to see her at all. Kind of nods at you, Soraya.
The praise coming from you means a lot, Pontiff. Thank you.
Oh, you shouldn't. You're just as capable as me. You just don't remember it. it yet.
I don't say anything. I'm just nervously pulling at my braid. I didn't realize you'd be coming to Shade's party.
I try to make it to as many of them as I can. I try to spend time with everybody in the circle. It's just Shade makes it much easier than some others.
She's hard to say no to.
Yes, and she asks you to come over a lot more than other people do. It's really rather convenient.
I just kind of like stand there awkwardly. Maybe pick up the drink I put down before running up to the back for Soraya.
Mm-hmm. Sure. Shade, you approach the bar and you notice that the new guest, this young man, he definitely seemed like he was at least dimly aware of the discussion that occurred in the nearby room.
I'm sorry, I didn't get your name. I'm Shade.
Oh, of course. Shade, good to meet you. Therian Newell. Therian Newell. That didn't come out right.
Therian. And, it's nice to meet you, Therian.
Good to meet you, too.
Whereabouts are you from?
Oh, I'm from Strange Glass, down south of it. Strange Glass is one of the non-bombed out sections of the city, but it is not a pocket dimension like Fartown. This is its own separate district.
Strange down?
Strange Glass.
Glass.
It is south to the south of it.
Gotcha. Strange Glass. Oh. That's fascinating. Well, I'm glad you're here. Do you know anybody? Should I introduce you?
I'd love an introduction. I don't usually hang out around this part of town.
Can I sense this person's motives? Like,
Sure, do you have any skill related to sensing motives?
Escaping bonds and resisting.
Unfortunately, those do not apply. Do you have any spells or magical effects you would like to apply?
No, I can't burn him.
Okay.
Oh, well, obfuscation. Nope, darkness does not help me now.
I would say then you can spend Bene from probably I'd say your interaction pool, or you can just roll straight.
I'll roll straight.
Okay,
D10.
sure. I'll say the challenge on this is 3. So you need to roll a 3 or above.
So I need to roll a 3 or 2 or a 1?
No, a 3
the
or
other way.
above.
Okay. That's
Yeah.
not too bad. Ah! 9.
Yeah, I mean, to you, he just seems like a regular guy. Based on his appearance, and it seems like he's probably gotten off of work somewhere. He definitely seems like he's been through a full day of work, not like anything strenuous, like just like work. But you don't sense any ulterior motives. He seems to be very confident in his answers to you. He doesn't seem like he's shifty-eyed or has any other sort of obvious fidgets that might be indicators of sort of tell.
Okay.
So, yeah, he seems straight up.
And he's cute. Good to know. Well, Tharian. Am I saying that right?
Therian, but close enough.
Tharian. My apologies. It's important. My name is
That's
actually
all good.
kind of hard to pronounce as well, which is why I go by Shade.
Oh, well, what's your full name then?
Scheherazade.
Oh, that's a good one. I like that.
Thank you. Why don't you come meet my friend Alana?
Oh, sure thing.
Come on.
Good to meet some people around this part of town. I'll be working here for a while.
Oh, what are you doing?
It's not that glamorous, but I'm a property lawyer.
Oh. You're right, it's not that glamorous.
Yeah.
Do you settle... what? Who needs a property lawyer?
Yeah, funny story. You got this weird old, like, aqueduct system around here. Nobody really owns the place. Quite frankly, I'm working for somebody who wants the space. nobody really owns it, so we're just working through your G-Rent to get control of the property, knock the whole thing down. Honestly, the only hiccup we're expecting is some weird hobo guy lives there or something like that. But you know, it shouldn't be a problem.
This will be fun. Come on. I take him to Alana and Lucas.
All right. Hey, how you doing? Therian Newell at your service.
Oh,
Bows, shakes hands.
He's new in town.
hi.
I walk away.
Love it.
Oh, well, oh, shade.
I make a point of not shaking hands with strangers. You'll have to excuse me.
Hey, that's fine. Everybody's got their boundaries.
Nice to meet you.
Hey, good to meet you too. Quick question, Lucas. Were you listening to that conversation or not?
It depends how close it was.
I don't think it was particularly close, but it wasn't entirely out of earshot. It was the sort of thing where like, it's like the cocktail party effect, where like if that is the voice in the crowd that you want to focus on, then you would have been able to hear it. But otherwise, it's just a voice in the crowd.
I'll roll with it.
Okay.
Did I hear you say something about the aqueduct, Therian?
Yeah. I work for somebody who's trying to get a control of the property since nobody really owns the place and it's just kind of sitting there.
I find that statement objectionable, but who might I ask you're working with?
Oh, it's not necessarily for me to say until the deal goes through. Complicated legal matters, stuff like that. I'm not necessarily at liberty to just go around talking about my clients, especially at parties with alcohol. You know, you get me?
Of course. Discretion, attorney-client privilege, yes. I simply asked as a concerned citizen.
What's your concern?
Well, the aqueduct is quite historic, is it not?
Look, buddy, I don't really know. I don't live here. To my knowledge, nobody really uses it. The G-Rent thinks it's an eyesore, so is it historic? I don't know.
Well, I'm surprised as an attorney you would, I suppose, do a little more research on the thing that you're supposed to be helping someone procure, but I suppose we all can't be the best at what we're supposed to be doing.
Funny. I'll tell you what, it very well might be historic. I don't know. Information's kind of hard to come by on that sort of thing, but I'll tell you what, as far as any sort of official documentation goes, not historic. It's old, but that doesn't necessarily mean it's valuable.
There's value in things we tend to overlook.
I mean, yeah, sure, if you want to get philosophical with it, but the point is, like, it's not making anybody money. It's not doing anything for anybody except that weird hobo guy who lives there.
Lucas, he's too simple to understand. I'm still invisible, I think.
Yeah, I was gonna say, he looks over and, like, he's like, what? And it's at this point that you notice, probably, that this guy is most likely a non.
I know
A what?
Looking around like,
someone who's not a Visley, I believe. That's
Yeah.
the term?
yeah, a non-magical.
No magic.
You said your name was Therian, right? Am I able to get a vibe off Lucas that they really don't want this to happen, deal go through? How? Just by looking at your face, is that the same exact face?
Lucas's face is pretty placid, and they have a tendency to stare through people and not actually look at them. So, although if you were particularly well trained, you'd probably see their mouth quirk a little bit
Mm-hmm.
every time Therian talks about how useless the aqueduct is. Therian, did you say a hobo lives there?
Yeah, it's some sort of squatter person. I mean, like I said, nobody owns the place, so it's not like this is somebody's like house. I know houses come in all shapes, but you know, it's not like we're knocking down you know, a mansion or a house or even a really old tree. Just an abandoned public works project. At least as far as any of the documentation goes.
You said your name was Therian?
Oh yeah.
I know you're not from Fartown, right?
Oh yeah, no, I'm from Strange
Okay.
Cross.
It might be a good idea to maybe look into it a bit more. I know, at least since I got back, that some really weird places are usually owned by Visley. And
I mean, if it's owned by somebody, that's a different story. But I'll tell you right now, there's no ownership on any official record. Now, if someone can, you know, pull a deed for this place out their ass, then that's a different story. But currently, it just exists.
Well, I don't make a habit of bringing documents with me when I go out and about, but I would be the one that lives in that aqueduct.
Oh shit. Look, I'm sorry for the hobo guy comment. I don't usually expect to conduct negotiations at parties. You'll have to forgive me on that one.
I'm not negotiating.
Well, look, buddy,
I'm just watching.
I mean, look, buddy, if you own the place, I'm more than happy to come and begin our negotiations with you. I mean, if you could just provide us some documentation that you, in fact, own this aqueduct, then we can move forward as necessary. But if you don't own the place, that's difficult because you've got no more claim to it if you don't own it than I do. You can't just, you know, if I were to pass out in our gracious host's kitchen for a long enough, if I were to pass out in her kitchen every night for the next year, does that mean I own the place?
You should stop talking.
You do talk an awful lot.
Just looking around, not understanding.
No need for that. Tell me, since you're staying in town temporarily, what hovel can I find you?
I'm not necessarily willing to provide my residence. I'm sure you can understand. But
fine. Do you have a card?
Business card.
Perfect.
Yeah, he hands you a business card with a phone number on it.
Excellent. I'll be sure to give you a call once I get the proper paperwork pulled together so that I can straighten you out with respect to this matter.
I mean, look, I don't shoot the messenger here. I just work for somebody. I just got hired to take a look at this place because nobody can find any owner anywhere. And if that's you, I apologize that your information has slipped through the cracks, so to speak. But
it was a pleasure to meet you. I hope you have a wonderful time here.
Did I get your name, by the way?
My name is of little consequence right now, but once I pull together that paperwork, you'll have it in writing.
Okay, sure. Good to meet you too, then.
It was nice meeting you, Therian.
You too.
I'm sure Shade would love to speak with you more.
Kind of like looks at you. Mildly confused. You can see he's definitely still trying to process where the voice came from.
Just walk away. This is a very simple thing. This was the goodbyes. These were the goodbyes. You can go now.
All right, Soraya. Calm your tits.
I assure you, they're very calm.
He's like walking away, and you can hear him muttering under his breath, like, just when you think you've seen it all, my God.
I think I have someone else I can introduce you to, and I introduce him to somebody else who's much more calm and pleasant to be around.
All right. On that note, to my knowledge, I have a major flux rather to work out, and we're about an hour and a half in. So why don't we quickly take our first break? We'll come back with a Sooth card pull and some chaos. Well, hey, hi, howdy, everybody. Welcome back from break. So over break, I had the distinct pleasure of drawing another Sooth card because we were given a major flux by one of our very gracious donors and viewers. So on the Blue Sun of Dreams, we play the Incriminating Skull. Gold magic is enhanced, silver magic is hindered. Secrets, Ravens, Books, and Flame. If that is associated with any one of your hearts, you gain a +1 to all of your actions until the next Sooth card pull.
That's me.
The Incriminating Skull has the meanings disaster, discovery, evidence, connection, or friends and family. The skull is uncovered, revealing a long-buried wrong. It is evidence of a crime. However, the skull was once a person, and that person's family and friends miss them. They wonder what will happen to them, and the discovery of the remains of the victim actually brings them some comfort and closure in the situation. The evidence that is uncovered might be the result of a long investigation, or it might be entirely accidental and inadvertent. It might be something that people have long searched for, or the remains of someone no one even knew was missing. Last, it might be something that someone was trying to actively conceal, or it might just be the remains of some past event covered up only by time. So with this information, I'm going to say that the Sooth card that we pull gives the following effect. Hold on, let me pull it up so we can get the verbiage. Where did it go? Okay, everyone within a mile knows your name and that you just failed a magical spell or practice. So everybody at the party and everybody within 1 mile radius of the party gets the distinct impression that Soraya just failed a summoning.
I dare any person to say anything about it.
Soraya, are you gonna be okay? Did you feel the magic shift?
I'm fine.
Oh no.
Okay.
This is bad. I'm just talking to some random person.
In the middle of
This
a
is
conversation.
It's funny because you're like, that's probably has nothing to do with what you were actively talking about, but you all get this impression at the exact same time, and so you're all just in various stages of oof right now.
I'm gonna go talk to her.
At least you're hidden for a bit?
Mm-hmm.
Soraya?
Get them out of the house.
Like all of them? Like all of them?
You can keep 2.
2?
3. God.
I can leave if you'd like me
No, Alana, stay. She likes you.
Yeah, Solana can stay. She doesn't count in your 3.
I suppose I'll see myself out then.
No, Lucas, you should stay.
Anybody who is
Soren
anybody
stays with
who
you.
anybody who is not my friend needs to go.
I'll see myself out.
Lucas, what are you doing?
You count as a friend. It's just friend is relative.
It's high praise? Okay.
I have exactly 8. Well, 7. I guess the demon today wasn't really my friend.
Okay, I will go around and
Thank
make
you.
awkward eye contact with everyone and tell them to leave. Because
It's
my
only
sister is embarrassed.
Mm-hmm, sure. Yeah, you go around and you get the impression that most people kind of know what this is about. And most are at least seemingly pretty gracious about it. They, they say that like no one's mad or anything. No one, makes any drama.
I might save the
I will
ambassador
say-
for last.
Sure. So you saved the ambassador for last. I will say that also while you're making your rounds, as you go to the bar and you mentioned to Euphemia that she has to leave, you notice a newspaper sitting on the bar with Euphemia's things that she grabs, and you notice that the cover story is about this murder that happened in a district called the Fade. It is one of the 17 standing districts, and it describes somebody who was killed in their sleep with a hole bored into their skull.
Do I know Ephemera?
Euphemia, the woman?
Euphemia? Do I know Euphemia?
I mean, you can. It's your party.
Euphemia, hi.
Hey, what's going on?
Oh, who knows? Before you go, that paper.
Yeah.
Might I have a look?
Yeah, sure. I'm done with it. Yeah.
I thought I saw something interesting. I'll take it and I'll fold it under and I'll put it in my under my arm.
Crazy news these days.
Yeah, can you believe that?
Honestly, no. It's wild.
Do they have any leads?
I don't know, but it's not the first.
No? Do you know who else?
There's a few. I think it says the number in the paper somewhere. But,
I'll have a look.
I don't know off the top of my head. Sure.
Euphemia, it was always such a pleasure to see you.
It's good to see you too.
Have a good night.
She gives you a hug if you allow her. And
Oh, 100%.
heads out the door.
Oh,
okay,
yeah.
Sure.
A very tight hug.
All right. The last person to leave then is the ambassador, who you actually have not had a chance to speak with at this party yet. Hey, Shade, what's going on?
Hi. Oh, just magic and shit.
Yeah, I heard about that one.
We all did. That was kind of the point. Big oof.
Yikes.
How you been?
You know what? I've been okay. Boss is keeping me busy, making a lot of trips back and forth.
Yeah. Sorry I missed your last call.
Oh, yeah, you know what? We were busy.
Yeah, we were busy. It's fine. Anyway, but I'd love to see you next week.
Yeah, of course. Just letting you know, giving you an update,
Of course.
Yeah, your name is on the boss's lips these days, but you're probably still good. You're probably still talking in the time span of maybe a year, definitely months. I'm doing my best, trying to keep her distracted.
Yeah, thanks. I'm working on it. I'm working on it.
Sure.
I just need more time.
Sure. And look, I don't blame you. You're not the only person out here trying to leave a little. It's fine.
Yeah. Anyway, I'll see you next time.
See you. She gives you a hard kiss on both cheeks if you allow her.
Oh, 100%.
Heads on out.
Make sure to wave to Pontiff as he leaves.
Okay. Yeah, he leaves pretty. He seems very understanding of what just happened. He leaves definitely. Gives you wait. Probably comes over and gives you a hug or something on the way out if that's the type of relationship you have, and heads on out. I will say that if this party did this party occur by the front of the house?
What was that? Did it occur what?
Did this party occur within could you look out the window and see the front of your house at this point?
Sure.
From where the party is?
Yeah.
Okay. Then the only thing you would notice, particularly as people are heading out, is you actually see one person who is heading up to the party. But it just didn't seem like she was able to make it. The only person who might be able to recognize this person would be Soraya. But she kind of looks around at everyone going and is like, oh man.
You're the one who wanted everybody to leave.
I'm still invisible. Is it?
I would say that yeah, probably, unless Lana wants to drop the spell.
If
Or unless
Soraya,
you want to.
if Soraya wants me to drop it, I can drop it.
Do I see this person approaching?
Yeah, I think you would. She's just out the window. You would know this person as a woman named Emma Elizabeth Maura. She is a third-degree Goetic. She has the position Master of Rituals. She has advanced in her position very rapidly, and there are many dark rumors surrounding that advance. And she's not entirely well loved. She is also filthy fucking rich.
Alana,
Yeah,
You-
Soraya?
can you make me not this?
Oh, yeah, sure. And she'll like, it's kind of like what happens when you like pull your fingers through your hair to get like the tangles out, and she kind of like does that in front of Soraya.
Sure.
Shit. I'm gonna walk towards Emma.
Okay, sure. So she's like outside the door, kind of like looking at people, like trying to get a distinct impression of what's going on.
Was she not within a mile? Does she not know?
I mean, you can't tell from this point.
Okay, great.
Yeah, so you come outside, and you've probably seen this person around before. For those of you who haven't, Emma is short, probably like 5'2", 5'3", maybe. She's wearing a white dress under one of those like a navy blue, like one of those like blazer capes that has like the arm flaps. Full face of makeup, wearing heels. She has cuffed to her left. She has a gold handcuff on her left wrist that is attached to a golden birdcage, which she just carries around with her. She is short. She's not thin. Got sort of like white hair that's maybe like this length, very Marilyn Monroe, honestly. And she's just kind of like looking around, like kind of trying to parse what's going on right now.
You missed the party, Emma. It's over.
Yeah, it definitely looks like it. It happens, I guess.
Did Shade invite you?
No, I heard there was a party.
Oh, I forget that's what people do.
Well, I don't usually, but it's been a week.
I would invite you in, but I don't really like guests.
No, believe me, I have all people understand that.
How much do I know, Emma?
How much would you like to?
A little bit.
Okay.
We've had conversations. I'm a little surprised she showed up. I'm not gonna invite her to a party. I'm not gonna invite her to a party. But we've had passing conversations, brief.
Sure. Yeah.
Tweeting.
Yeah, that makes sense because she is not a recluse. She is very active in the order. That is her day job, so to speak. Well, I will see you later, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll yeah. Okay, bye. And I'm gonna slowly close the door.
Sure. Yeah, she waves and heads on out. She actually gets in a car, which is it's rare for people to own their own cars. So she gets in this like old like classic Jaguar looking thing and drives off.
I watch her leave.
Yeah, sure. I would say that broadly, you would be aware that if she came in a car, it is entirely possible that she was outside of the mile radius when the spell went off between when she got here.
Perfect.
It's like 50-50 either way, but there is a substantial chance that she has no idea what's going on.
That's awkward. I'm not gonna explain it.
Yeah,
Ever.
sure.
That was a really fun party, Shade.
Yeah, it was great until you shit the bed.
I don't know what you're talking about. This is my favorite part of the party.
Well, now it's just a bunch of boring people. And Alana. I'm talking about
GM.
you.
I just kind of look around at everyone else.
I'm seated in a chair reading my book. What?
I'm gonna pour myself a drink.
Well, Alana, since we're here, how have you been? I put the newspaper in front of my sister.
You know, existing.
I'm gonna quickly, casually peruse this article that I know
Sure.
I'm supposed to read.
Broadly, you are aware that this is not the first time this has happened. There are 16 other victims. There are 17 total who have died in similar or related circumstances.
Do I recognize any of the names as I kind of peek over and listen to Alana?
I wouldn't think so. It's a fairly random assortment, and they're from all across the city. A couple are in Far Town, but some are in like the Fade, some are in like Lower Taverswood, or like just random ass places. But they're all in Satyrine. I will say that much.
Okay. Alana, go ahead.
You know, just getting by. It's been a while since we gotten to talk, you know? How have you been?
Well, you know, I've been better. Kind of, it's a long story, but I've been better. But thank you for asking. It's
Well, if you need
alright.
anything.
Oh, yeah, of course. I saw you, talking to Pontiff.
He's a nice guy. You know, he's a good friend. No, not like
You're
that.
so boring now that you're back. What? Come on.
I'm not interested. And she's like fiddling with a ring on her hand. I'm just not interested.
Alana, we used to have so much fun. And now we're back from the war, and you hate fun.
I don't hate fun. It's
Fun's a relative term.
That's what I was
Look.
gonna say.
it's a cliche saying, but yes. I'm sorry. I really am.
Why are you... Don't apologize. What are you sorry for?
And she'll just like shrug.
Oh, whatever. Question. Did Soren have the German accent before the war?
Nope.
Everyone came back so different. I swear to God, it's Soren's new accent.
I
I'm
have
disgusted and turned on at the same time.
That sounds like your response to most people.
Yeah, that's fair.
Could I call in from the other room? Yeah, I know you are. And go back to pouring all of Shade's good whiskey into the hidden compartment in my walking stick.
You're such a dick. Whatever. Alana, did you hear about these murders?
No, I haven't really been getting the newspaper. I'm still settling into my house.
Mm.
I'll pass her the newspaper after I've read it 2 or 3 times.
I'll quickly glance.
What about you, Lucas?
Mm,
Have you heard anything about these murders?
No, I don't really read the paper much.
After I read it, I'll hand it out to. Actually, Lucas is the closest. Soren's in the other room. If they are interested.
Oh, thank you. As I just kind of look at it, I dismissively hold it back out.
I'll
Oh,
take.
And take
okay.
it. Shade, by the way, you're almost out of whiskey, and I will take the newspaper and begin to flip through.
These
about-
souls crossed over. Lucky for them.
Lucky for
One
them.
thing that, Soren, how do you flip through the newspaper exactly?
I think I would probably be going through it in order of story that is alphabetical by author last name.
Sure. So I will say that you notice something that the others didn't see, or maybe it's that they can't see. But you notice that every image that displays any building exterior in Satyrine displays the same, like, very sloppy gray graffiti. And the only thing that graffiti says in each image is "Beware the demiurge."
Demiurge? Oh, I can't see this, but I'm just making sure.
And could I very quickly, just to be sure that I'm not seeing anything crazy that isn't there, could I cast Eyes of the Overworld to see things that are invisible or obscured?
Okay, yeah, sure. Is that a ephemera or is that a spell?
That is a spell. It is a second level
Okay.
spell, and I would like to keep it.
Okay, yeah, sure. Then you will spend the 2 sorcery. Why don't you go ahead and describe what Vancian spell casting is like for Soren?
So when Vance need to cast spells, they have to study them first, and then they hold them in their mind. And so as I do this, I have words that are written on my clothing that are like catalysts as I cast spells. And so I would very quickly glance at a word that is written into my clothing as the kind of catalyst to spark this memory so that I am able to correctly cast the spell. And then at this point, I would go through probably a very quick incantation and a series of hand gestures. And if there's any kind of effect, you would see my eyes kind of look almost as if there's a spreading of ink in them as the effect takes place, and I'm able to see things that are hidden.
Okay, sure. The one thing I will say that you were able to determine about the newspaper beyond what you've already seen is that once you're looking, all of the colors pop. It's like you're not looking at pictures anymore that were printed on shitty newspaper. It's like you're staring at like the real thing. All of the colors seem like you were just like you were really there, like in the moment, looking through a window. But the gray that the graffiti is written in is still the same dull gray color.
Oh, this is very interesting. What do you all make of the pictures here in this newspaper?
Do they look fine to the rest of us?
I mean, they look normal. If you were to make a serious concerted effort to try and find something, it would require some kind of a perception roll. And it would probably have to be magically enhanced in some way.
They
You'd
look
probably
like-
need to spend a sortilege.
That's not me. I'm not doing that.
They look like
Pictures.
Yeah.
Okay, but what if I told you that there is the same graffiti in every single picture?
I would ask how much whiskey you've had tonight.
I don't
Not
see any
enough.
whiskey. I mean, I don't see any graffiti. I also don't see any. Where's all my whiskey? Jesus.
I told you, you're almost out.
Did you drink it all again?
No, I did not. I'm almost sober. I've only had 3 drinks tonight.
You didn't drink all my whiskey.
No, I did not, I promise.
I have to believe you. Anyway, I don't see any graffiti.
What does it look like?
Well, it's kind of interesting. It says, effectively, it says, "Beware the demiurge," which is, of course, very interesting because normally graffiti is like a name or something, more like fun, at least in my experience. And so something saying "Beware the demiurge" feels like a bit ominous to be like traditional graffiti.
What do you know about graffiti?
Well, I've looked at it quite a bit.
Did you do it?
No, why would I ever want to deface something?
I don't know if I believe that.
You don't have to believe anything.
Oh my god, not this again.
Suppose the real question is, what is a demiurge?
You know what a demiurge is?
So this would be knowledge that is not forcibly hidden. This is not information that someone is trying to keep a secret, but this is just very obscure information. So you would probably have to roll, and I would say the challenge would probably be at like an 8 or a 9.
Is it magical lore?
Not in the sense that an apostate would be particularly good at identifying. I'm going to say no. It's not magic. That's not how I would classify it. I'll put it that way.
Gotcha.
It's magic because it exists in the setting, but this is not a secret about magic.
Is
Gotcha.
this something that we could use a hidden knowledge on?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Dibs.
All right, go for it.
Yep. You want to roll, and I'll say you need to. The challenge is going to be at a level of 8. So you can spend a hidden knowledge. Do you have any spells that would apply?
No.
You can spend a bene from your intellect pool to bring it down to. You would need a total of 6. You want to do that?
Yes.
Okay. And do you have any?
Do I have any what?
Did I ask about skills already?
Yeah, I don't think I'm gonna have any skills unless this has to do with. Nope, it doesn't have to do with that.
Yeah. Then yeah, if you want to spend 1 hidden knowledge and 1 bene, you can bring it from challenge 8 down to a challenge 6. So you need to roll a 6 or higher.
Which bene do I pull it from?
This would be intellect.
Oh gosh, maybe my sister should do this.
I mean, you can only ever spend 1 at a time anyway, so unless your sister has a skill, it doesn't matter.
Okay, let's do it. I will spend 1 hidden knowledge to bring this down. A D10? What even is a D10? I don't even know. I just work here.
Right.
I got a 10?
Okay, so in this game, the die are 0 through 9.
Oh,
so
I got a 0!
0! Yeah. Yeah, so yeah.
Oh, that sucks.
Yeah, so
Oh my god, I just had my heart broken.
So much
I'm
excitement.
sorry.
Oh, I'm gonna eat my pizza. Okay, bye.
Well, I don't know what any of that means.
Soren, you said you were a Vance, right?
Yes, that is true.
I know your lot really is all about structured learning and books and whatnot. Do you know anything?
If I was to try to do a check for this, would my skill in formal magic have any benefit, perhaps? None?
No, not in this case, no.
It doesn't seem to me like something that is strictly magical, and that is where most of my interests lie, at least my magical training. I'm very interested in words, but I can't say that I know exactly what a demiurge is, although I'd be happy to think about it and see if I can recall something.
It might also just not concern us.
Perhaps
the
I could go find a
authorities
dictionary.
Handle it.
You said it's on all of the pictures?
Yes, every single one.
if it's on every single one and it's magic, then maybe we should just leave it be.
I think we should figure out what this is.
I had a feeling you were going to say that.
Well,
I am open to exploring it, if only because there is a word that I am not familiar with.
Does anyone else have anything they would like to accomplish tonight?
all of my fun left.
All
I'll go
of my
hang out.
fun finally arrived.
Go hang out in the dungeons.
Sure.
I have a question.
For who? For me?
Yes.
Okay.
Would you said the locations of the folks in these murders happened all around Saturnine?
Yes, yeah.
Do I recognize any of those locations in any way? Have I been there? Do I know how to get to these places in any form?
So none of them are specific enough down to the location. They're mostly mentioning of districts or significant neighborhoods. So while it might mention, one of these murders was in Rive River, like Rive River is enormous. Like it is that place holds tens of thousands of people. So it doesn't get more specific than down to the district level.
Okay. And follow-up question, how long is a round? I feel like we asked this before.
Yeah, no, a round is not strictly defined. It is anywhere broadly from 5 to 10 seconds, although we're not necessarily concerned with it down to a second. We don't track things down to a second. We don't track things down to a foot. Time and distances are largely abstracted, except for significant markers like when the sun rises, when the sun sets, a year, stuff like that.
Okay. All right. Out of curiosity, and I'm sorry, everyone, to eat up a little time, but if I were to say, recline in my chair and activate my astral spy ability to travel a long distance,
Okay.
would I be able to scour a district to try and find this location and see if the writing exists in the physical form or in that space between?
Oh, okay, sure. Yeah. Why don't you first? Well, actually, no, because these are newspaper images, so probably a lot of the these locations are probably marked. How long can you do that? I wouldn't say you could do it in one casting, but maybe 2 times a long distance. You could probably get to the nearest one because you are in kind of an urban center of Fartown.
So it's a level 2 ability, and it says for each additional sorcery I spend, I can prolong it.
Okay, yeah. Then why don't you spend the base amount of sorcery is 2, if I'm correct? It's a level 2 ability?
Yep.
All right. Then why don't you spend a level 2 ability, add 1 extra to get your extended time span. And so what happens is this. Well, first off, tell us what your astral projection looks like.
Well, as everyone's kind of talking, I close my book and place it in my lap, and I just put my hands on the cover of the book. My back's just, flat against the back of the chair, and breathe in for a moment, close my eyes, and I just whisper, "I'll be back in a moment." And I exhale, and anyone watching sees just kind of this white puff kind of mist form out from the mouth, and a literal spectral form of myself is there, and well, would be there because it just kind of goes whoop and flies straight through everything, solid material and whatnot, with minimal effort.
As they're doing this, or as it happens, I like startled to take a step back, and before I know it, they are gone.
So
be
I will
back.
say that the first place that you could go, the first place you could reach, is nearby. It is on the side of the building for Mothlight Primary School. This is where all of the kids in the local neighborhood, and probably most of the surrounding neighborhoods, would go for any sort of like basic education. So you go, you can dimly kind of put together like where the picture was taken, because like you live here. You probably pass this place every day on your way to work or some nonsense. So yeah, you float your way around the building. Nothing appears. Well, why don't you go ahead and roll a perception challenge? And I will say that this is a magical task, so you would need to spend a sortilege if you were going to, or cast a spell if you were going to attempt to locate any.
Would searching work?
Yes, absolutely. Searching would count. You would still need to spend a sortilege, but that will reduce the venture by 1, or increase the venture by 1, decrease the challenge by 1.
Gotcha.
And I'll say, for the sake of this, you are unaware of the level of the spell involved, so you don't know what your target number is.
Okay. Cool. Let's give it a shot. Ooh. Well, I rolled a 2.
You would need to roll 2 dice because this is a magical task. You need to spend sortilege. Yeah.
Oh. And do I add them or take the highest?
No. You both need to succeed.
Oh, okay. I rolled an 8 and a
how
2.
that works. Yeah. So unfortunately, the 2 does not succeed. So yeah, you fly around this place. You feel like you search it pretty well and good. You feel like you've gotten a real good sense of what's on the outside of the primary school, and you can't really see very much of anything aside from this brick schoolhouse.
Disappointing. Well, no sense in lingering here, and I just flip right back. And just... Well, that was a bit of a waste. What did I miss?
Or nothing. We were just sitting here in silence as you did your thing.
I told you don't need to do that.
Oh, but it's more fun.
Fun is relative. Okay.
Yeah. How desperately do we want to get the answer tonight?
Not at all.
Not
Alright.
desperately.
I see.
Well, I did a quick comb over of the area, but I suppose if we wanted to search one of the closest areas in person, we might be able to make a more thorough scouring.
That is true. Or I was going to suggest that,
A sleepover? Oh.
well, perhaps that is a secondary option. I have quite the library back in my house. And perhaps I have a book that might provide some information about a demiurge. I would be willing to go and look, but it might be a time-consuming endeavor.
So a sleepover at your place.
I have to go home. I have to go take care of Percival. If he
Dinner.
doesn't eat, he gets grumpy.
That is understood.
Never let me have any plan.
Fun is relative.
Oh my fucking god, if you don't stop saying that, I swear to the suns.
What do you swear?
Nothing, go away.
Okay, I will go away.
Well,
Good night.
Good night.
Perhaps I will go and do my research, and if anyone really wants to come read books with me, they can. Otherwise, I will go and report back sometime tomorrow.
I could think of worse ways to spend some time, and besides, perhaps I can find something about real estate law in Saturnine.
I know for a fact I picked up a book about that just for fun.
Fun is relative.
Oh,
Okay.
why? Why do we keep saying? We understand. Fun is relative. We fucking get it. Jeez. Oh my god.
Yeah, I'm actually with Shade on this one. I feel like we're just repeating something because it is funny, but I do not get the joke.
Well,
I thought it was funny, Lucas.
Oh, of course you did.
I wasn't trying to make a joke.
Oh.
Well, sounds like Lucas and Soren, you are going to be having a night. Don't want to interrupt on your reading. Besides, I wouldn't probably do any reading if I was there. So.
Shade, I must say your skills with hosting today have been suboptimal.
Go fuck yourself.
Always a pleasure, though.
There's the door.
I'll show myself out.
Yeah.
On that note, Alana, you walk back to your house. It's not a long walk. Why don't you describe your house for us real fast?
So Alana walks up to a toy store, actually. It's called Nana's Toys. And it's closed, obviously. It's like, what, 9 or 10 o'clock at night?
Oh, by this time it's probably like midnight.
Yeah, it's very late.
Yeah.
But she goes right up to the door, and it's not unlocked. I'm sure if someone else tried, it would be locked, but it's not locked for her. And she'll, typical toy store. You've got voodoo hands, Ouija boards, regular dolls, stuff like that. But at the very back of the store, there is a 3-story Victorian dollhouse, maybe like 2.5 feet tall. And she'll just walk right up to it, crouch down a little bit because she's actually pretty tall, and open the door. And she never really thinks too hard about how she got inside. But she's inside. Despite it being a 3-story dollhouse, there's only one floor, small kitchen, a living area, and a hallway with 2 doors at the end. Very Victorian, curved furniture. Actually, the couch is probably in the kitchen right now, is my guess. Most likely. But she doesn't bat an eye at this. And she comes home. And the first thing she does is go to the kitchen, take a small bag out of the cabinet, pours something into a bowl, and goes over to one of the bookshelves where there is a black form curled up, and it has like white specks on it, has eyes and teeth and mouths, and she'll put the little thing up there. Percival, did anything happen today?
Yeah, this small creature, I'm assuming it's kind of cat-like.
Ish.
And
Cat-ish.
Cat-ish, cat adjacent. It makes a sound. If you had to compare it to anything, one might say it sounds like a train made of chalkboards crashing into a truck full of nails. So it makes a sound kind of like that, out of at least one of its mouths, but probably less than all of them.
Okay.
So, but it acknowledges you, and it sort of cuddles up to you in the way that only this sort of monstrous creature could.
This is awkward because I don't know how I ended up with a cat.
Cats. It's extreme air quotes. One thing you also...
I'm not a cat person.
One other thing you notice is that your house furniture does get moved around a lot. You live in a dollhouse in a toy store. People interact and move things. One thing that people don't seem to move is a large sword that is just mounted on this glass display case. That one seems to move on its own. And currently, in the dark of night, it is almost looming over you. Like it's hanging like right next to the bookshelf, and especially since you're like on the ground, like interacting with this cat-like creature, like you look up and this thing just towers over you. And it doesn't always speak, but sometimes it does. And tonight you just get this profound sense of being looked at. I don't remember you.
I kind of just turn away, but I don't say anything to it.
Sure.
And after Percival is more or less done eating, I'll give it a one long, hard look and head to my room.
You go to your room. You sit down in your bed. You lie down. You look up. And there's the sword in its glass display case hanging on the ceiling. You wear her skin, but I don't remember you.
What do you want?
I want to remember.
You're gonna have to wait. She's not here.
So it seems. Presence seems to leave. The sword still hangs up there, but the presence seems to leave.
I'll grab a blanket and sleep on the couch.
All right. Not being done with the creepy. Shade, do you generally make an effort to stay up? Stay awake?
As of lately, yes, I do.
Okay. How late do you think you can stay up tonight?
Probably until 4 or 5 a.m.
Okay, I'd say you probably make it till 5. God knows the party ended early enough that you have, you're not exhausted from that. So yeah, you make it until 5. You can just barely see the light of the indigo sun starting to turn the sky red, as it normally does around these parts, before you just utterly pass out. You just cannot stay awake anymore. And it is in this time that you have a dream, although calling it a dream is generous. You start off in this sea of this sort of like light sky blue. It is like almost like you're falling in place. You were just floating in this endless expanse of light blue that is slowly, you notice, it almost seems like it's getting like sucked away, like it's being pulled at the edges. And as it starts to tear, as it starts to vanish, just a very, very intense darkness that you have not known in any other way begins to come over you. And you're familiar with darkness. You weave darkness. You exist in darkness, but this is something different altogether. And this absence begins to surround you until there is only a thin beam of colorless light that seems to be coming at you from some direction, whether that's north or south or up or down or at you or from behind you. You don't really know, but there's some sort of thin beam of white light that allows you to see the hands. You see dozens of disembodied hands just like crawling and scratching and pulling and like skittering their way towards you, and you can't get away. And they begin climbing up. And they begin scratching and clawing pulling.
Can I get away from them?
You can try. This would be a physicality.
Okay.
Do you have any skill with escaping?
Yes, I have resist
right.
and escaping bonds.
All right, resist is for mental attacks, but this, I would say, escaping bonds is definitely applicable.
Okay.
You could also spend a bene from your physicality pool.
I will.
All right, sure. So that will bring the challenge down from, I'll say from 6 to 4.
Could I use? No, that's fine. Okay, 6 to 4. Okay.
Mhm.
2.
Unfortunately, you're not able to get away. You are able to move yourself and maybe free yourself from like one hand. You're able to like tear one off your shoulder as it begins to climb up towards your neck. But where you tear one off, 2 more come to take its place. And eventually they just make it towards your head and they just start. It's horrible. Some are just pressing and squeezing. Others are pulling at your ears or seem to be like jamming fingers into your mouth, or just, it's terrible. And you experience some version of that until you wake up the next morning.
Is this the same intensity that I normally have? Or is it?
Yeah.
Okay.
No, I mean, it's the same intensity, but unfortunately, it's always different.
Yep.
You never have a chance to get used to the things you see at night.
When I wake up, I'm drenched in sweat. I reach under my pillow, grab onto my trusty python, and I just lay there in the darkness.
Sure. And with that lovely image, that is where we will end tonight's session.